Welcome back to the Crazy Courage podcast. We are here with another fantastic guest. We have Chantelle Kinzel from Live Nutritionals. And Chantelle Kinzel is actually talking to us from a remote, distant country, Central America, Nicaragua. Chantelle, can you tell us all about Live Nutritionals and what it is that you guys do?
Yeah. Hi, everyone. We have a health business. It's primarily a beverage business based on kombucha, water kefir, mead. We have some fermented goodies in there too, but our passion is really health, community, and
That's
focus.
awesome. So how did you come up with that? Why kombucha? Why all those fun ingredients?
Mm.
What led to that?
It's a little long story, so I'll
Okay.
do my best to condense. I studied mental health and I worked in neuroscience studying the biomarkers of mental health disease.
Okay.
So I spent 10 years there. I worked at UCLA and I was trying to find biomarkers of early onset psychosis. And it's challenging to find anything clear. And then one of my mentors presented a talk on gut health and bacteria being one of the strongest predictors of mental health disease. Which, after years of looking at the brain, this really surprised me. So, I didn't have time at that point working to, read further into this. And so I left my career for a few reasons, mostly just pharmaceuticals not aligning with what I felt was really right and helpful for all of us and for disease and for really finding the root cause and helping disease and mental health specifically, Pharmaceuticals feels like a Band-Aid and a
Yeah.
moneymaker,
Yeah. Definitely.
and I felt like I wasn't really getting anywhere. I started feeling like I was just torturing children more than helping them. And so I thought I should take a break. That, and so I took a break and went with my boyfriend, now husband, and we started traveling in a van.
Nice.
Headed south, went through Mexico and pretty much all of Central America. And now I had time to start reading and focusing on some of my passions. And the whole gut bacteria thing really was interesting to me. So I started doing a lot more research and reading. And, for me, it just started to become clear. It's the center of everything as far as health, happiness, well-being.
So gut bacteria. That's just
Yeah.
that. Wow. Okay.
Well, your gut, that's kind of
Yeah.
generalized, I guess, a little because,
Yeah.
70% of our immune system is in our gut.
Okay.
Um, Serotonin, the drug of happiness and well-being, the neurotransmitter of happiness and well-being, 95% of it is made in our gut.
Wow.
Our
Okay.
gut is where
Right.
we detox all the bad stuff we take in. It's where we absorb all the good stuff we take in. So it feels like the center of everything for me as far as health and happiness goes.
Really.
And then at the same time, with the onset of antibiotics in our culture, we're just killing our gut. Um, and then there's not a lot of quality fermented products out there, The average American is not getting their required dose of fermented products daily. Usually a little bit, a few times a day, but most people are not getting that,
So how would I ingest on a daily basis enough fermented products? Like what am I talking about?
Mhm. It's not a lot necessarily, and especially to start off with, you do wanna be a little careful
Okay.
because, you gotta go easy when you start, you know? If you're talking about true kombucha, which most of it's not, but we can talk about that in a second. Half a bottle of kombucha to start a day if it's real. A couple
Okay.
tablespoons of sauerkraut or kimchi or some kind of fermented vegetable, twice a day. It's really not a lot, but it's just not in people's habits or in their life, and it's not
No,
really on the shelves either.
you're right.
The quality through fermented products. That's why we started, I realized this isn't gut health is a huge aspect of health and happiness, which for me is everything in life. If you're not happy, what good is life? If you're
Right.
not healthy, what good is life?
If you're not healthy, you're not gonna be happy.
Yeah, exactly. And so, traveling Central America, we didn't feel like we had good, healthy options. And so I started brewing, and my husband tried it. And he has his own in-depth health story. He's been involved in health and coaching, for 20, 30 years. And and he was passionate about kombucha long before I had my own awakening. He tried it and was like, this is the best kombucha I've ever had. And
Wow.
so I took a scientific approach. Honestly, I did a data analysis of recipes online and put it together, looked at pros and cons of each and just took it out. And so, yeah, that's what I started brewing in our band for us, really. And then when we got to Nicaragua, we fell in love with it here. We decided to stay here, and we thought about opening a health retreat center, and doing this kind of like heaven version in my world of what mental health could be, being in nature with meditation and whole foods and sunlight and also like, if at the end of that, we need some kind of pharmaceutical, like not counting that out either, but taking a holistic approach. So we're starting there. And one aspect for me was quality food and nutrients. Like that was very important for both of us as part of this retreat concept. And once we started the kombucha, it just kind of, it, it, it took over in a good way. Like there was such a market for it here. It also took a lot more from us than we imagined. We just immediately had this huge wait list of restaurants that wanted kombucha.
Really? Wow.
And so it's just like, whoa, okay, let's run with this. We make an amazing product because it's, for us, the priority is to make the best product possible and the healthiest product possible. And with that, it tastes amazing,
Yeah, that's
Happy
a nice
fake
bonus.
products.
That's a nice bonus. It tastes good as well,
Right. I mean, a real apple tastes better than
right?
the crappy manufactured ones that we're buying. It's just natural stuff tastes better. I
Sure.
think that's how it comes out. So yeah, that's how we got started.
That's how you get started. Back of a van. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's good. I mean, look, it's a good problem to have if you have wait lists of restaurants who want your
Yeah.
product. I
Yeah.
mean, how difficult would it be to set up manufacturing in Nicaragua?
It is both easy and extremely hard. Um, It's, one of my mentors here tells me when I was really struggling, I have an amazingly successful mentor, and he's older now and he's kind of retired, and he just sits around and I take all the advice I can get from him. And he told
Nice.
me, once during COVID when I was struggling a lot and stressed, and he said, look, like, how much have you lost this year? And it was through COVID, we didn't lose that much, less than 20,000. And he's like, most businesses in the first world have lost at a zero easily.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So, and that goes for starting things up here. You can start it up a lot easier with a lot less capital, in some ways, and the regulations are a little bit more lenient. But the flip side is, for me personally, my Spanish sucked when we first got here. I didn't understand the law. I didn't know anything about the law. And then culture, doing business in a totally different culture really is challenging.
Sure.
Just the way you talk to people, and vendors, we would not knowingly scare people off, just because
Really?
we come from this American way of doing business, which is like kind of get to the point, not like
Okay.
blabber on or like ask you about your grandmother or something.
Oh, I see.
And in the first world, or the US and Canada where we came from, it's like you get to the point. You kind of respect each other's time.
Yeah.
If you have a business meeting, it's like you don't take half an hour to talk about how your family is,
Right. Right.
right? Here it's the opposite. If you get straight to the point, we found it was really offensive, and because
Really?
they prioritize family and connection and community and getting to know each other. So
Okay.
getting straight to business like that, it scared some business people. Just like someone we want to buy honey from, for example.
Yeah.
We never could hear back from them. We were about to give them so much business. We wanted to buy honey from them every month,
Right.
consistently. So
But they wanted to,
there's a lot of
they want someone who's a small talk first, right? And then
mm,
and you got to build that relationship or rapport, I guess.
hmm yeah, that took us like 5 years to figure out. So
Wow. That's fun.
but
But it sounds like you've built that into your overall business and your products. You said it's about building community as well.
right. Yeah, I mean, as our primary goal being to support health and ultimately happiness, one of the greatest indicators of happiness and health is your connection to your community. So, yeah, I mean, health is our priority and our number one goal. And so community just plays a role. And we moved, a large reason why we moved to Nicaragua was to live in a smaller, more connected, more natural community. And the disconnection in the first world is a lot of the reason we left.
Sure.
And so, now I'm happy. I think, we can look back and there were pivotal moments that were really hard here, and we chose our community first and to take care of our community and to support our community, and it really pays off. I've just like 100 stories about it, or like right now we have people walking in every day to sell us mangoes from the street, and it's awesome. We have been very connected to our community. Some hurricanes we went through here, some hurricanes hit that were very bad. They blocked off our entire town. The rivers flooded and everyone's wells flooded. People ran out of drinking water because their wells were flooded. We can filter a decent amount of water daily because we have water filters. We have like our own filtration systems. In this moment, that was, a pivotal moment. I think we chose community. We shut down our business and we decided, like, in our own good heart, we couldn't keep selling kombucha when people, like our neighbors, didn't have drinking water.
Wow.
And so for a long time, I mean, it was a month we were really shut down and just doing water distribution.
And then now
And
when you were cut off, like from the flooding and all that stuff, that was
yeah, we were probably cut off. Say, for example, Red Cross couldn't get to us for the first 5 days or
okay.
so, or a week, which is a long time when you're in
A lot of
crisis mode and people don't have water or food.
sure. Sure.
Because the floods wiped their food sources out, and
Yeah.
so, yeah, after 2, 3 days of people not having food and water, it gets tough. And yeah, actually, our kombucha factory was, even when Red Cross could get close enough, or government aid and all that stuff, I mean, they would only go as far as our factory, actually. And after our factory, it becomes really remote.
Okay.
So, we went through a time where we just decided, like, let's choose community first. Let's take care of it. And it pays off. We have a lot of support of our community now. And people remember that. The guards around, local tiendas and stuff like that, they remember who was there for them when
Wow.
things were hard. And so now we've built those relationships. So it's a little easier to go have a business talk, I suppose, because we
Yeah.
have relationships already built.
Sure.
Also, just, when you connect to your community, you have a better understanding of the needs of your community, and as far as a business function goes, that's useful too. It's important to know what's going on in your community for your
Yeah.
business.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, do you so your products you sell them in Nicaragua? Do you sell beyond the borders? How far do you go?
Yeah. So we sell our products that we manufacture just within Nicaragua. And then we have a licensing program where we sell licenses for outside of Nicaragua. So we've done this
Okay.
in Canada and the US, to sell our recipes and coaching and kind of the systems that we do. And we do that, we started to do that because it's like every week someone asks us, can we buy this kombucha in XYZ country or place or city, wherever they're from, that's not Nicaragua? And we would always say no until, one of our mentors was like, why do you keep saying no? You could spread that love and information. And it was outside of our scope, but now it's something that I feel passionate about, because I think the going, full circle back to, you know, the issues of mental health and happiness, it's worse now in the US and Canada.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's been 10
Hasn't gotten better.
years.
No.
Pardon?
COVID was tough, but I don't think
Mm.
people really recovered from it. I
Yeah.
think a lot of people are still suffering from the effects
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
everything that went on. Yeah, no,
Hmm.
you're absolutely right. Now, is
Hmm.
it difficult to find licensees for your products? Like, how do you even go about that? I wouldn't even know where to start.
Yeah. I mean, right now, we've just, started to tap the start of this program. So we're
Okay.
reaching out to friends. We talk, it's been very organic so far. Our previous ones came to us, like
Okay.
showed up at our door, or were friends or whatever. And like,
Really?
wait, this is the best product ever. Can I get the recipe? And it's like, well, yeah, I don't see why not. Um, so yeah, right now we're working just with friends, family, people in our own personal contact list.
Okay.
And then definitely a fair bit of people come to us because they just try our kombucha, and reach out or come to our factory or something. Or they walk in, it's primarily people try our product. Like, this is the best kombucha I've ever.
Wow, nice.
And I have, a catering business or some kind of, or restaurant or something, then it makes sense to
Yeah,
collaborate.
sure. Wow, that's great. So, can I find this stuff on store shelves near me, like Canada? How do you know where I could find it?
One of our partners is in Quebec, and it has
Okay.
not hit shelves yet.
Okay.
However, he does have an amazing line of products that I really recommend, and his brand is called Gutsy.
Oh,
So,
Gutsy. Yeah, I've heard of them. Yeah. Yeah.
mhm. Yeah, so just stay
Yeah. We
tuned.
have them. Yeah, there's a location here. Like I'm located in Ottawa. There's a location in I think in Orleans, like a suburb of Ottawa,
Okay.
which is yeah, just on the east side. Yeah, like it's right on the Quebec border, right? So we're right there. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and in general, I recommend to people to go to their farmers markets and to find smaller producers because that tends to be the more authentic products out there.
Right.
Unfortunately, Safeway and bigger chains, bigger brands of kombucha just, a lot of them have worked towards mass production. And in that process, they've had to sacrifice quality and authenticity of the health of the product. So, and it happens. At this point, it's maybe a little risky to say it, but I think mass production of food and consumer goods is awful. And I don't think it's
Yeah, you're
helping
right.
us.
No,
Or,
I think it's good. All this stuff, everything's over processed these days.
yeah.
Absolutely. No, I don't believe you're wrong.
And just distribution, I mean, we shouldn't be distributing food that far for so many reasons, sustainability and health,
I agree. I think sorry, I agree. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Mhm.
I was just going to say, I think COVID sort of taught us that, maybe a global economy is maybe not always the best recipe for success. I mean,
Mm,
supply chain issues became the buzzword, right?
mhm.
You can get anything from anywhere. But I mean,
Right.
yeah, if you're transporting food across the different continents, countries, yeah, you maybe should travel that far because, you're going to have to keep it fresh, and alive longer. So that gets processed. There's more pesticides, more chemicals involved, right? So yeah, no,
Mhm.
I'm with you. I'm with you. I don't think food should travel very far at all. I think the farmers markets are be the way to go.
Mhm.
Absolutely, absolutely. If you want to
Yeah.
keep farm to
And
table kind
right. Yeah. There's so much to say about that, but
of yeah.
I, ooh, yeah, far of a tangent before I go on, but it's just, it creates a very vulnerable society, and that
Yeah,
is
it
one of
does.
the reasons we chose to actually even stay in Nicaragua during COVID was because here a lot of people grow their own food, or know someone there. They feel more self-reliant. I mean, probably 80% of the food I eat, I know the person that grows it.
Right.
And
I tell you, 100% of the food I eat, I have no idea where it came from,
right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
except for farmers market stuff. But I mean, really,
Right.
if I go to the grocery store, I have no idea.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's such that also we are carnivores. We used to be vegans. A lot of our friends are vegans. We have this talk all the time. And it really, I think, boils down to just eat real food. Either way you go, whether it's plant or meat, I mean, as I personally now am at a place in my nutrition belief journey that I think it's more about eating real food than if it's meat or veggies,
Yeah,
particularly, I guess.
yeah, yeah.
That's more important, I think, than like the first and foremost is we need to get away from any processed
Oh,
foods.
I
And
couldn't agree more. Yep.
right. I think at this point at least, most diets, whatever you're on, can agree with that. And so that's a huge, passion of us and something we want to contribute to as a consumer product manufacturer that we want to produce something real and we won't sacrifice that in any way, shape, or form. We just won't. That has its costs and its struggles.
Sure.
It's
Yeah.
been that I mean, it definitely could have been easier at some points to go fake in some aspect, and that's unfortunately, I mean, Most of the large companies, I just don't trust them. Not
It's
just
all
of
about the bottom
kombucha, but
line. Yeah, it's all bottom line shareholders. It's all about turning a profit,
right.
bonuses and all that. Yeah, I mean, as soon as you get into a large corporation, that's all it's all about. So it's about cutting corners, reducing costs. So you're,
Hmm.
I mean,
Yeah. Yeah, and it's, I don't know. I mean, I come from a mental health background. I started my life and my career, and the path I wanted to go on was making an impact on health, not necessarily becoming a billionaire. That wasn't my goal for my life. So that's represented in our business model and our products, and I sleep better at night for that.
yeah, I bet, I bet, I bet you sleep pretty soundly. I bet that's good.
Yeah. It
So,
doesn't mean it's, easier, that's for sure.
oh no, of course not.
There's a lot of points in which it would be a lot easier and cheaper for us to go fake.
Sure,
Uh, in some aspects, in every aspect, we really choose the best process and the healthiest process. Go to your local farmer's market. We're always encouraging people to.
yeah, absolutely. So, Chantal, now we talked about COVID. You guys went through COVID.
Hmm.
Yeah. Obviously, that was a financial hit. We talked about how there were hurricanes and then flooding.
Hmm.
And clearly, that was a financial hit because you decided to shut down and take care of
Hmm.
your community. But those aren't just the only two challenges you've had along the way. You've had other challenges as well, right?
Yeah. 6 months, I guess, after we started our business, there was a political crisis here. A lot of foreigners left, a lot of tourism left, business just tanked. Probably 70, 80% of it
That's
went
huge.
down.
That's huge.
We didn't know what was going on, really. We didn't have the greatest understanding, but that was, yeah, that was equivalent for sure to COVID for us. It was a huge
Right?
stressor. We didn't know what was going on. We didn't know if we should stay or go or close or what. And so
What made you stay?
what made us stay, and
Yeah.
the community here and the culture here, we fell in love with, and
Nice.
we wanted to
Nice.
stick that out. We saw how through struggle, the culture here and the community, they come together, and that was worth it for us.
Yeah.
On top of the fact that we left the US for political issues anyway.
Okay.
We really disagreed with the politics in the US, and so it was like, well, let's see how this goes. And then, I guess we had a little bit of patience. I feel like a lot of people left just out of fear. People get scared quick and easy and leave.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
It's an immediate reaction, right? Just yeah.
yeah, I mean, I get it. You're in a foreign country. You don't know what's going
Sure.
on. So it got tough. Yeah. I mean, the opposition shut down the roads. We couldn't drive around. But it got pretty tough for a bit. The grocery stores went empty. We ran out of
Wow.
gasoline. For a
Wow.
distribution business, that's tough. That's,
That's big.
that's
Yeah, sure.
it
Sure.
literally was hand delivering kombucha. Yeah, so distribution became a struggle with the opposition blocking the roads. There wasn't gasoline. I started hand delivering kombucha on the beach. I
Wow.
remember walking down the beach and I was like, wow, this is another level. But it's also, so beautiful here. We were out in the nature and able to see our friends and connect with community and just take a pause on life. And so that was worth it, you know.
Okay.
Um, I think that was the same thing with COVID for me is, you get to pause And we don't pause enough in life, in business. You're just like running a lot. I think it's really healthy to pause.
For sure.
And, I don't know, maybe from some spiritual context, that was something about COVID, was that we needed a timeout. We needed a pause.
You're right.
So that's what we did, and taking a rest. COVID, I think the nice thing is, after going through this political crisis and a hurricane by that point, I don't remember in what order the hurricanes came, but there's been a few. By the time COVID came, I feel like at least I learned some lessons, which are, there's some benefits to crisis. It teaches you, different crises teach you different things, obviously, and the point of the journey you're in, personally and professionally. But, one lesson is just enjoy it. Enjoy this moment to pause with your friends and your family and get to spend time with people and not have a schedule or an agenda. You can just put business on hold with, no one, there was no issue with putting business on hold during COVID, and by
You've been
that
used to it,
point,
to be fair.
yeah. So after already going through a couple of crises that were, like I said, just as bad or just as tough, I just realized, like, great, I can hang out on the beach with my friends and also take a look at my business model. Is it working? Is there something I want to do better? For sure, each crisis, we made big changes.
Right.
Well, I feel like they were big changes. We added on a product. One crisis, we added on our food line. We went from beverages to doing fermented foods too, which,
Okay.
I'm happy about, because fermented vegetables are also so important for your diet, and getting a range of these probiotics from different sources is really useful and important. And so, then the next crisis, we decided to add on an alcoholic line. And that was an interesting journey for us. But we realized, alcohol has its days, but we realized there were so many places that didn't want to take our product because they just wanted alcohol, like bars or whatever like that,
Okay.
So we realized we could offer a harm reduction product that is a little healthier for you than the average alcohol.
Okay.
For getting, you're getting vitamins and enzymes and liver support. Ultimately, alcohol is pretty hard on liver,
Yes.
right? And kombucha supports and helps detox you. So, your hangover tends to be a lot less. And it's also kind of this gateway drug, if you will, for a lot of people. They don't, a lot of healthy people, we have them already, they're drinking kombucha already, but the non-healthy people, let's say, they don't want to spend $5 if it's not alcoholic.
Fair.
So we can get them there, they fall in love with the product, and then they realize, I have quite a few clients that started there and then realize in the morning when they're hungover from whatever else, maybe they'll have a non-alcoholic kombucha because they realize it makes it feel better. And then, they also notice some detox reactions, good reactions, and
What's a detox reaction?
you go to the bathroom.
I see. Just cleansing, clearing things
Yeah.
out. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
if you are not a healthy person and you have a whole kombucha, you'll probably go to the bathroom within a few hours.
Wow. Okay.
A real kombucha?
That's how you know.
A few of my friends that were not healthy people came to me after I gave them a kombucha. So, yeah. So, yeah, let's see. Each crisis that kind of triggered different products we offered. And then our licensing program that also came, from COVID, that we realized we wanted to expand out and, try to look at a model that could be a little less location dependent, a little bit more flexible. Yeah, and I also saw the need for it in the first world. So,
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, we got to get rid of all this processed junk.
yeah.
It's too easy to get.
Well, yeah, it's too easy to get it, and I think consumers are overwhelmed with choices. I cannot go into a grocery store in the first world. It seriously stresses me out because
Right?
I just feel like I can't buy anything, or I don't know what to buy, or like there's 100 options of mustard, and like I have to look at all the ingredient lists of all these mustard. It's just like I just need mustard. It's gonna take me 2 hours to figure it out, and because probably 98% of them aren't really mustard. It's like
Yeah, right?
so. Um, yeah, I mean, it's right now a big passion. We feel like we've made a dent in Nicaragua. We've really spread this quality kombucha around Nicaragua. We were the first kombucha brand, legal registered kombucha brand in Nicaragua.
Nice.
They didn't want to
Sure.
actually register kombucha here before us, and so my lawyers recommended that I write a little report, with my science background and initials would help. And it did help. And so, they had turned down another company actually for registering kombucha. So we've spread. We're in probably close to 150 locations in Nicaragua. And so now I feel kind of, our next task is to give people in the first world a good option, because so many of our clients are from the first world and they want the same quality of kombucha. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. Try and find a farmer's market. Like, don't even bother buying this stuff at the store. It's a waste of your money.
Wow.
It's just buy a soda water. I mean, if it's in a can or if it's on a shelf, you should really question it. So it's kind of our next passion is to spread it a little further and give people an actual option, because I think a lot of people out there want that option. They want a higher quality, even if they have to pay twice as much. I believe there's a lot of people out there that will choose it. So
I think you're right. I'd like to think I would.
yeah, I mean, maybe, maybe a little less often. But I also think if consumers really knew what they were purchasing, then they just wouldn't, And I mean, it's like, okay, instead of eating one crappy apple every day, eat one every third day that's actually real. It's going to be so much better for you. Or one a week even. I mean, I don't know what the point is of a lot of food on the shelf. I just want to eat rice, I guess. Like it's just a filler. So
Make a lot of sense. But it's great to stand by your product, your brand. You built a lifestyle about it. It's a really lifestyle brand, right?
mhm.
Trying to change
Yeah.
lives, make
Yeah.
the world a better place.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. And sometimes I definitely get lost in the day-to-day stuff. But zooming out, that's going back to kind of our origin story and remembering why we're doing this helps me a lot,
It's good.
because it's about our overall health and happiness and the community aspect for me. So sometimes, I'm like, there was a year, that it was tough for me. And I remember thinking, I'm just making juice. I have mental health to make juice. But, zooming out, it's because I believe it's something that can make an impact.
Okay.
One aspect. It's not, there are other aspects, like I mentioned, community, sunlight.
For sure. Hey, and you're not, you drink more water. That's not going to save your life. It has to be an overall,
Of course.
lifestyle change. And,
Yeah.
your products are one piece of it, but you got to
Right.
get some sunshine. You got to move
Right.
around. You got to talk to people. Yeah, for sure.
Right.
For sure.
Right. Right.
There's no
But yeah,
one
pardon?
magic bullet that's going to fix everything.
No, no. But if there's one thing I would focus on, it is your gut health. Yeah. As I kind of opened with,
Yeah.
it really, there's a lot of ways in which you can target your gut health, but for me, it's definitely a core issue to consider.
Wow, wow, wow. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Now what happens next for Live Nutrition? Now you talked about bringing it to the first world.
And
What
then,
other plans do you have for world domination? What's
well, I don't know until the next crisis.
next crisis? So you
Yeah.
have another pause, forced pause, right?
Right, and think about things. Yeah, I mean, a pause is just such a beautiful thing in life to take an opportunity for. It really helps you reconsider what you want. Yeah, I mean, right now we've just kind of got started with the licensing program. And so we're really focused on that for now.
Okay.
And kind of continuing what we're doing. I think we're on the right track. We want to, continue working on empowering our team here. And that's a huge passion for us. And yeah, and spreading that to other people, allowing them a business model that they can become independent and create, a healthy product that benefits them and their community. That's our focus moving forward.
Wow, nice. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hope you guys can spread because make the world a little bit better for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's hopefully.
Well, Chantal, I'm going to thank you for your time. I really appreciate you taking the time to tell me your story. I forced
Mhm.
you to pause for a little bit and talk
Mhm.
to me. Anyway, thank you very much. I'll be looking for your products. I'll try to track that down locally here.
Mhm.
In the meantime, please keep doing what you're doing. Sounds like you're doing
Thanks.
really good things.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right, Chantal. Thank you very much. We'll talk to you soon, hopefully.
Great. Thanks.
All right. Take care.